just a second. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this 11 a.m. talk with Angel Charmaine, your authenticity coach. I appreciate you for coming into the space today. I'm going to let the platform notify you that I am here. So remember, y'all, I am streaming on various platforms and I'm going to be talking. I'm going to see if I can maybe let's see if I can get all of you directly in front of me so I'm not having to do too much looking away. So today, excuse me, um, we're gonna be we're gonna be chopping it up today. My topic today is starting over, right? Sis, are you starting over or are you just running? That's what we're gonna talk about today. All right, sis, are you starting over or are you just running? And there is a difference. And so that's what we're going to be chatting it up about today. I'm going to give you all a few minutes to come on into the space. Hello, Lasagna. How you doing? Thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you for actually speaking. Thank you for your heart, me, and all that good stuff. For those of you who are on TT, if you're going to join us today, if you find this space valuable, if you are encouraged, inspired, motivated by being in this space at 11 o'clock, then please feel free to hit that orange heart and send your heart me. Talk to us in the chat. Let's keep our chat moving. Thank you so much for loving on the screen as well. You all already know that when you all tap on that screen, it helps to push us out into the FYP so that more people can be a part of this space in this community at 11 o'clock. So I welcome you to do all the things. I appreciate those of you who will. Hello, Harold Bed's Thoughts. I see you watching on YT today. Thank you so much, sis, for choosing to be with us again today. It took me a few minutes to get here, y'all, because I am puppy sitting my grand fur baby. His name is Jax, and he is just all over the place. I thought I was going to be able to come on here and talk to y'all with him, but I had to actually put him away and tuck him into his own space while I do this today. If not, he'll be jumping all over me trying to be in the video and everything. So I had to put him away. I know some of y'all like looking at him because he's really beautiful, but grandmama can't get no work done when the fur baby is jumping all over the place. Okay, so we're gonna have to do this today without him. So if you're in the space and you're gonna rock with us, I am asking that you will share this broadcast, share this live in your own spaces. If you know some women who need a little bit of inspiration, they need a little bit of encouragement, bring them on in the space. I see lots of women talking all the time about needing to be connected to like-minded women or wanting to transition from dealing with certain types of personalities and wanting to meet new women who are about the business of, doing what it is that God has called them to do. They're about taking care of purpose and taking care of themselves and their families and being well and all the things. Well, that happens in this space. And so I invite you to share this live with other women that you believe can benefit from this space. Um, so It's right now it is 11:16 a.m. I try not to be here any longer than 12 noon. So I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into the conversation. Hello, Taishika. Thank you so much for joining us on FB. Good morning to you, and thank you so much for tagging some women into the conversation. I appreciate you, sis. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you again. All right. So, y'all know what time it is. It's time to get real. Lasagna, thank you so much as well for sharing the live. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So, it's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for us to get real. Time to get real, time to get raw, time to get relevant. And today I want to talk to you all. I want to talk to all my sisters today who keep finding themselves in this cycle of starting over. You're starting over in new cities. You got new relationships. Y'all got some new jobs, right? But deep down, is not really about starting fresh. That's what you tell yourself, right? You tell yourself, I need a new start. I just need to find some place new. I have like where I am is not working. What I'm doing is not working. And I just need something new, right? But the truth is, if I can just be frank with y'all, hey, fine wine 39. If I can be very frank with you all today, sis, I want to get us to a place where we can acknowledge the difference between starting over and running. Thank you so much for your daily heart me. I appreciate you, right? It's not really about starting fresh, is it? Come on, let's be honest here. If you have moved, if you and I'm not talking about with your job because if you're in the military or something like that, and it's just what you do for a living, that's one thing. But I want you to ask yourself if you are not connected to employment that requires that you move constantly, but you keep moving from this state to that state, or you're moving from this city to this city. You know what I'm saying? Or you got a boyfriend this year, and then and the next year you got a new boyfriend. 6 months from there, you got another boyfriend, and it's just all the things you just need to start fresh and just things ain't. Come on, sis. Today we're gonna just kind of really sit with this, and I need you to get to a place where you will acknowledge that it is not really about starting fresh. It's about running. It's about running. I know because I've been there. I have been there. Understand? Hold on a second. Okay. Y'all excuse me. I had to release somebody from the TT space. Please know we are in this space right now. We are learning and growing with one another. If that is not why you are here, there's no need for you to be here. All right. Thank you so much for the lightning bolts. Thank you for the gifts. So for a long time, y'all, I thought the answer to my problems was a new beginning. I thought the answers to all of my problems was just getting a fresh start. But what I was really doing was simply avoiding the hard stuff. And I told y'all this year, I'm going to be doing the hard stuff. This year, I made a decision at the beginning of 2025 in January that this is going to be the year that I do hard things. Now, you may say, well, Angel, don't you do hard things on a regular basis? Yes, I do. But this is the year of doing the hard things that I run away from. There are some hard things that I do that you just gotta do, but then there are those things that you try your best to avoid, right? Sometimes you think that if I just move, right, then the problem won't follow me. If I get a nuke because this guy, he's a narcissist, he's a this, he's a that, we got all the things. If I just get a new one, it'll be better. And what I had to realize is that every new place I moved, I took my same old self into those new places. Yes, Lasagna said this is the year of walking into our purpose. Absolutely. And walking and living and growing in purpose requires you to have some stick with itness. It requires you to stay still, be still, stop moving, stop changing, stop throwing stuff away and picking up new stuff. This is if you're saying that this is the year that we are walking into purpose, we are owning purpose, we are being purposeful, then we also have to acknowledge that sometimes we're not getting to where we need to be because we keep stopping, we keep running away. The truth is that if you don't change yourself, the same struggles are going to meet you wherever you go. You cannot run away from you. That's it. You came into this world solo, even if you are a twin or a multiple birth, you individually came out the womb solo. You're going to be put in the dirt solo. You're going to meet your maker solo. So it doesn't matter where you go, you going with you. So today we're going to talk about, I'm asking the question today, and I'm gonna repeat myself today because I need you to get it. Repetition helps us to learn, helps us to remember. I need you all to sit with the question, am I truly starting over or am I just running? Absolutely. If we don't face the problem, it's never going to go away. Lasagna, listen, I don't know who I'm talking to, but since I can tell you that I am reaffirming in myself that I will not run. I'm reaffirming in myself that I will not run. I'm actually in the process of finishing up my third book of my conversational narrative series, and it is about this topic. I am talking to women about running, and I'm going to address the fibs that we tell ourselves to keep us in this place of running. So I don't know if I'm talking to you or you today, but I can tell you that I've had to sit with this and have this conversation for myself. I can look back and I can see the times when I wasn't actually walking in purpose. I wasn't actually walking in purpose. I was sprinting in fear. Do you hear me? I was sprinting in fear, not walking in purpose. Let me tell you how difficult it is to be walking towards something and running away from it at the same time. If you're walking towards something while running away from it, you really are in a place of stagnation. You're not going anywhere. You cannot run forward and or walk forward and run backwards all at the same time. That's why we end up like, woo. You hear what I'm telling you? Instead of facing the pain, I kept convincing myself that the next place, the next man, the next job. And let me tell y'all, for those of you who don't actually know my story, I have lived in Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky. I have lived in Washington State in the Pacific Northwest. I have lived in the United Arab Emirates in Abu Dhabi. Let me tell you, I have taught school in Burke County, in Richmond County. I taught school in South Carolina. I taught school at Fort Campbell, at Fort Knox, right? In Portland, Oregon. I've been a school teacher. I've trained teachers. I've been an Army Wounded Warriors advocate. Let me tell you something. Every place I went, like I'm okay, I'm gonna get a fresh start. I meet a man here, I date him while I'm there, and then that don't work. Then I move, I meet a man there, I date him while I'm there, and then it don't work. I meet a man here, I date him, it don't work. I'm not telling y'all what I think. I'm telling y'all what I know, what I have experienced, what I have lived. You think that the next new thing is just going to be a fresh break for you. It's going to be a fresh start for you. You think you're going to finally find peace. And you know what? There's this feeling, it's almost addictive. There's this feeling of newness. Like when you get to your new apartment or your new house, you just like, you can smell the newness and you walk around and it's clean and everything's fresh. And you're like, yes, this is going to be it. And within 6 months to a year, the new place looks like the old place. You done found the same places to put your clutter. You got the same clutter drawers. You're doing the same stuff you did in the last place. Absolutely. We tend to think it's about others. That's how the enemy keeps us stuck. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so today I want to pull the covers over, from over our faces. I want to unveil this foolishness that the enemy has us in so that we can begin to do what it is that we've been called to do. It's time out, y'all. It is time out for us sitting in this place going back and forth. It's a cycle. What Jonathan Reynolds sings that song, cycles, cycles, right? Going in cycles. You think you're doing something new and you're not. You are absolutely not. Hello, Cecilia. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm glad that you're here. Cecilia says, that's what I need help with. I used to do that. Just quit and leave. Absolutely. Let me tell you, I am the queen of quit. Can I share something with y'all that I think will help some folks? Hey, Eb, how you doing, Ebony? It's good to see you, sis. It's been a minute. Good morning, Latoya. How you doing? Tashika said Cocoa Puffs. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me share something with y'all. When there are times when, so let me preface this by saying I am a very strong woman. A lot of times I've been strong not because I want to be strong, but because I've had to be. Sometimes I've made myself strong in places where I didn't have to be. Um, so it's not that I'm not a strong person. I absolutely am. It is not that I'm not a faith-filled person, because I absolutely am. But I'm getting ready to say something to you all that I need you to hear with your spiritual ears. Okay? Many people have looked at my ability to get up and go as a strength, and it is. Let me say that. It is. Oh Lord, Lasagna, is something going on with my live again today? Y'all excuse me. Let me know. Can you hear me better, Lasagna? Tell me if it gets better. If not, I'm gonna have to restart. Y'all excuse me. Put a pin in that. Lasagna, can you hear my live any better? If not, I'm gonna have to restart. Something going on with, sounds like it's frying really bad. Okay. So y'all excuse me for a minute. TT, I'm gonna have to restart. Lasagna, give me a second. I'll restart this. And if you want to come back in, you can totally come back in. I don't know. It happened last night as well, and I'm not sure why it's doing that. So I am going to go out and come back in. Y'all excuse me. This is, I think TT does this on purpose so that you can't reach your goals. I think that's what they doing for real, for real. But I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try it again, y'all. We're gonna see if it works. Okay. So what I was saying is that um most people will see me being able to get up and leave as a strength, right? And they'll say things like, "Hey, Danny, how you doing?" They'll say things like, Angel, you're so strong. I don't know how you can get up and just leave. I don't want to leave my parents. I don't want to leave my friends. And you can just get up and go and whenever. And here's the thing, what a lot of people don't realize is that there is strength in standing still. Catch that. There is strength in being still. When scripture says to be still and know that he is God, being still takes work. Hear me. Being still takes work. And so, yes, I am faithful. I will do whatever it is the Lord requires of me. But what a lot of people don't realize is that it's easy for me to run. Hey, Lasagna, this is better. Good. It's easy for me to run. Am I strong? Yes. Am I faithful? Yes. But all of us are dealing with thank you so much for the heart me. All of us are dealing with our own struggles, our own situations. And so what I had to realize was that me getting up and running to this new place and doing this new thing and running here, running there, that it really wasn't a strength for me. It was actually a weakness. It was actually a weakness. I know. I'm gonna let y'all see. I'm gonna let that cook for a minute. I'm gonna let it cook for just a minute. Hey, Zakia, how you doing, sis? Are y'all tracking? We've got to be careful about what we add a girl people with. We got to be careful about what we, girl, you so strong, you so this, you so that. A lot of times we are helping to promote people's weaknesses that you don't realize is a weakness. You're enabling them to continue doing the very thing that God is trying to get them to stop doing. Hear me in this. Hear my heart in this. Yes, Lasagna, I absolutely see it. I was just saying that I think TT um is messing with my life to keep me from being able to, to reach those targets of being on for, a certain amount of time. Because the same thing happened last night where my sound got all crazy and stuff like that. So, it is what it is. Amen. Cecilia says amen. So I want you to, so when I say I want you to sit and I want you to sit with yourself and think about things, it's stuff like that where everybody's saying, girl, you're so strong. Girl, I don't know nobody who just can pick up and go. If the Lord tell you to go, you go. If the Lord wants you to go there, I don't know if I could have went overseas and did that. I don't know if I could have did that, girl. You got so much faith. And here's the thing, if you listen to other people versus listening to what it is that the Lord is saying, you be all twisted and messed up. The truth is that running was my weakness. So yeah, if you say, hey girl, you want to, there's this great job over here. If it's gonna give me an opportunity to run away and start fresh, I'm doing it. You understand? So where I am in my life right now, I am sitting in a place, literally, I'm sitting in a city that I do not want to be in. I am sitting in a city that I call the land of my affliction. But the Lord has brought me back to this place and he has told me to sit still. There is a work that I want you to do in this city. There is something that I want you to do in this city. I want you to be a remnant that's going to stand up against some things in this city. So what I need you to do, Angel, is sit still, be still, hold your peace, do what I tell you to do, know that I am God and I got this. Don't run. Do you all know how many times I have said to myself, I can just pick up and go anywhere. I know how to start a new life for myself. I know how to move somewhere, get a new job. Listen, if you let me move to a brand new city, baby, I'm gonna have a new job. I'm gonna have a house. I'm gonna start a whole new life, and I'm gonna live well because I know how to go start over. But it's not starting over for the right reasons. It's running, running. Yes, sit still, and be still, and listen. That takes work. That takes work. It is a lot to take in, Lasanya. It's a lot. And I currently as the CEO and founder of Speak Up Sis, I am working with women constantly. I'm doing all of this work constantly. And there is still a piece of me, it's like a thorn in my side, right? There's still a piece of me that just says it's not working right. It's not doing right. It's not doing what it needs to do. Lord, I just want to scrap it and start all over. Right? You're right, Danny. And that is why knowing you and knowing what God has called you to do, knowing what is your strength and what is your weakness, what is your area of glow and grow is important. Because Danny says that's a blessing too, because some people are stuck. Some people will be stuck and won't want to go anywhere. Absolutely. So depending on how you look at it, you could say that people who are able to stay still are strong. They're able to stand still. They're able to long suffer. They're able to work through things. They're able to be more stable and consistent and constant. But what we have to know is that the enemy only comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And so he will take what God has given you. So I know God has given me a huge measure of faith. Okay. I have a huge measure of faith. If the Lord tells me something, it's like, whoop, Johnny on the spot. But if I am not careful, if I'm not listening to the small, still voice that leads and guides me, if I am not letting the Lord be a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path, then the enemy he will take that ability that I have to get up and go, and he will have me using it to go against what it is that God wants. You've got to know who you are, whose you are, what God wants you to be doing, and when what you're doing isn't aligned with the God that you say you serve. All right? Stay still, be still. But be ready to go when it's time to go. You have to know when it's time to release something and start fresh, because there are times when the Lord will remove things from you, remove people. He'll remove you out of situations and circumstances. He'll say, okay, it's time for you to leave this particular job and go into another. There are times when the Lord will allow you to start something fresh, but you need to make sure. Today, I want you to be able to sit with yourself and ensure that what you're doing is actually aligned with what God is leading you to do and calling you to do, versus you and your flesh trying to run away from some stuff that you don't want to deal with. Discernment is key, absolutely. And discernment is a gift that you must ask for. You must ask the Lord for discernment. If not, you'll be out here all willy-nilly, going to and fro. Let me just say to you, running did not heal me. Running does not heal you. You're not going to get better because you run. You're not going to grow because you run. Facing myself is what helped me to heal. Being willing to look at Angel Charmaine Wright in the face and say, you are being cowardly. You are being cowardly. You don't want to face the consequences of your actions. So you're just going to go do something new. You got yourself into these financial situations. And now, instead of dealing with it, instead of learning how to budget, instead of learning how to manage your money, instead of learning how to be a good steward over what God is giving you just going to scrap it all and start over. The healing process did not start with me running away from the things. It started with me facing myself, owning my stuff. Thank you so much for the heart me, Crystal. One thing I'm not going to do, thank you so much. One thing I'm not going to do is lie to me. I'm not going to lie to me, y'all. When I have to look at myself in the mirror, I'm not going to sit in the mirror and tell myself stories. One of the best assignments I could have ever been given. I've told y'all this many times, and I'm going to keep saying it. I worked with a coach who thank you so much for the gifts. I appreciate you. I had a coach that I worked with once who had me to ask me to go before when I went to take my shower, to while I was fully unclothed, to look in the mirror and say I love you for 60 minutes about different things about me that I loved. I love my mouth, my nose, and my belly, my whatever. Just I love you for whatever you love about yourself for 60 seconds. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I was crying. Within 30 seconds, your girl was in tears, y'all. Because I'm not gonna sit and lie to myself. I didn't love my stomach. I felt like I was FAT. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't look at myself and say, I just love you, just look so beautiful, and I love you. No, I didn't love my nose. Thought I got a big wide nose. That you know what I'm saying? I could not be honest and say that I loved these things about myself. So the same way I had to sit down and really address how I felt about myself, my physical self, the same way I had to deal with that, I had to sit down with myself and say, you run because you don't want to deal. I always tell people that I'm non-confrontational. I'm a non-confrontational person. I don't like fussing and arguing with nobody. I'm one of those people be like, if that's what you think, cool, that's you. You want to do that? That's your business. I ain't got nothing to say about it. But the Lord has called me to be a trailblazer. He has called me to lead Speak Up Sis. I'm the sis and Speak Up Sis. I really had to deal with, God has given me a work to do that requires me to stand in a place where I confront hard things, where I help other people to confront hard things. And I'm a non-confrontational person. So it's so much easier for me to just be like, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, whatever. Right. But that is not who God has called me to be. But I had to sit with myself and look at me and say, you're a coward. God has called you to be strong and very courageous. He has called you to go into this place and help to set captives free. He has called you to go out there and work with women to help them learn how to live authentically the way He has called them to live. And that means that I'm going to get pushback. That means that people going to want to cancel me. That means that folks going to be like, I need to cut her off. She don't serve me. Whatever. I know that's what that means. But before I could get to this place, I just ran away from it. I was like, hey, cool. You don't want to listen? You don't got to listen. Whatever. You know, whatever. I would find reasons to run. I would find, Danny, I need you to be safe. I need you to be safe, okay? You talking about you going and you tapping. I need you to be safe. I kept convincing myself that the next place, the next person, the next job, the next whatever, right, was finally going to bring me some peace. And I'm telling you that it doesn't. That's not how it works. So y'all know what I do. I show up here at 11 a.m. ish Eastern Standard Time to help y'all with these things. As I help myself, as I stand in the truth of my own reality, I also want to help you all to do what you need to do in your lives. And so, I got 3 points for you, right? So the first one, today, I'm going to give you these 3 things that are going to help you to stop running and stop starting over and start standing. Okay? Tashika said, woo, this, when you have to be honest with you. Absolutely. Absolutely. We walk around talking about, just be honest with me and you can tell me the truth. And we get in relationships and we want these men to tell us the truth, and you can't tell yourself the truth. How you gonna handle what a man has to say about you when you don't even want to handle you? You understand? Hello and good morning, Missy. How you doing, beautiful? Thank you so much for joining us today. Today I am asking, I'm asking the question, sis, are you starting over or are you just running? Sis, are you starting over or are you just running? Because there's a difference. All right. And so right now we are getting into into the help, getting into the help. So the first thing that I am going to recommend that you all do is to identify the root cause of your running. It's important for you to sit down with you, sit with you, sis, and think about what is the root, the foundational cause of your running. I want you to ask yourself, what am I really running from? What am I running from? Are you running from rejection? Are you running so that you don't have to hear no? Do you just get up and I'm gonna just put it all out there. Oftentimes I sabotage my own relationships. I sabotage my own relationships. I'm gonna say 99% of the long-term relationships that I've ever been in, I left them. Like, the man didn't leave me. I left. I left. And if I didn't directly leave and was like, this just ain't gonna work for me no more. If I wasn't direct in that way, I can be honest and say now in this healing uh whole place that I sit in right now, I can totally say that I did things to make him want to leave. Now I can also be honest and say that hindsight is 2020. And so while I was in the situations, I didn't know that's what I was doing. I didn't I Hindsight reveals to me that I was self-sabotaging. I was sabotaging my own relationships. But while I was in it, that's not what I didn't think that. I didn't I that was, it was a subconscious thing rooted in so much, and that would take a whole other live to talk about. But the question that I'm asking you today is, right? What are you running from? You need to identify that. For me, when it comes to relationships, I was running from rejection. Why? Because I had some childhood trauma. I grew up in a space with a mom who was an addict, and I had experienced so much giving and taking away. I'm gonna give it to you, but I'm gonna take it. Right? I'm gonna buy you this, but I'm gonna take it and sell it. We're gonna move to this nice place, but then we're gonna have to leave. I was so used to getting things and having them taken away. I had this faulty way of thinking that I'm gonna get good things, but I'm never gonna get to keep anything. So I found myself in relationships where if it was just really good, it was getting really good, to keep that fear of loss and rejection, that trauma that's saying to me, that's speaking to my soul and saying, now you know this a good thing, but you're never gonna get to keep it. And so they're just, he's just gonna leave at some point anyway. You're not going to, it's not so what I would find myself doing, because I was running away from being rejected or being abandoned. I was running away from the feeling of like I'm gonna lose something. So what I ended up doing was leaving first, or subconsciously exhibiting behaviors that would cause the person to leave. So that it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So when they left, it reaffirmed that trauma that, see, I told you he wasn't going to stay. I told you, I know it was good. He was a nice guy, whatever, right? So I'm reaffirming that trauma that is not going, like, he was going to leave anyway. So this is hard work. It's hard work. We have to be willing to do the hard, HARD, work of heart, HEART, work. You have to identify the root cause of your running. So I ran out of relationships, right? Because I was running from rejection, fear, abandonment. I had run from jobs before because of a fear of failure, the fear of not being good enough, right? I don't want to fail. So if this thing gets too sticky, if you're requiring too much of me in this, and I'm not really sure if I'm going to be capable to handle it, then I'll just leave and go get another job. If I'm in a school and it's just and what y'all are, expecting and asking, and it's just getting too much, you know what? I'll just go to a new school and I'll just start fresh. Why? Because I don't want to fail. I don't want to be a failure. This is why I say that it is cowardly, because you don't want to stick through the hard things, the hard times. You don't want to stick in it because you're scared you're going to fail. Are you running from a painful past? Is there something painful in your past that as soon as that thing is triggered, you like, I'm out of here. I'm not going through this again. A lot of us, especially women, we deal with this with relationships because we have dealt with so much pain from, previous relationships. As soon as we get something that's quality, baby, as soon as that joker says something, do something, if he were to sing cologne, it don't matter. As soon as something happens that triggers the pain of your past, you out of there running. Right? Missy says, I moved 5 months ago from a life I was done with. And here's the thing, moving and starting over when the Lord leads you is one thing. Constantly running is another. Those are two different things. And so today, I want us to sit down and really decide whether or not we have a pattern or a cycle of running. Because I want you to ask yourself this. If you're always starting over, how are you ever going to finish anything? How do you finish if you're constantly starting over the same thing? How are you ever going to finish it? How are you ever going to complete it? How are you ever going to hear job well done, my good and faithful servant, if you kept starting over? You never finished the task. How? Come on. Can we be honest with ourselves today? We're like, oh, I'm just starting over. I'm just starting over. Okay, when you plan on finishing this? If someone hires you to bake a cake, and every time it comes, it's a little, it didn't rise enough. Okay, I'm gonna scratch and start over. Oh my goodness, got a little bubble over here. I'm gonna scratch and start over. Oh Lord, I didn't scratch and start over. When you gonna get them people their cake? You know what you're gonna end up doing? You you're gonna end up looking somebody in the face, having to apologize. And you know what, Danny? I'm going to address this as well. This is something that I address in the book that I'm working on. Staying too long is also a form of running. I know that sounds weird, but staying too long is also a form of running. Running often is not always literally going somewhere. Running involves running from the truth of a thing. So sometimes we are running from the truth of what a thing is. So when we find ourselves staying too long, you're running from the truth that this person is hurtful and harmful. You're literally being physically or emotionally or psychologically or verbally hurt on a regular basis. And because you refuse to stand up, look yourself in the face and acknowledge, like, this is not right. I deserve more than this. I deserve better. This is not what my father intended for a man to do to me or for a situation for me to be in. We even run from the truth by staying in places too long that we were never supposed to be in the first place. You can never stay too long in a place where you're supposed to be. When we stay too long, it's typically because we went somewhere we weren't supposed to be in the first place. You weren't even supposed to go there. Now you stuck. That is a form of running. That is a form of running. I'm facing the truth right in the face by realizing how my weaknesses are played on. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Standing up and acknowledging the truth of your reality, it is powerful. That is how, and here's the thing. If I can say this, and Missy, you don't know me personally. I know you've not been in my space a long time, but I'm going to say something. I just want you to sit with it. You know, I say chew up the meat and spit out the bones. Chew up the meat and spit out the bones, right? So one of the things that I work with women when I'm working with women. One of the things that we work on is um, is dealing with ourselves outside of um, other people, other situations, and other things. So when you say I'm facing the truth right in the face by realizing how my weaknesses are played on, then what that what that also does is gives a power to outside forces. And the truth is that we've got to realize, one, what our weaknesses are, and two, how we allow people to utilize our weaknesses as strongholds for us. Because when you know where you're weak, then you learn how to protect yourself. When you know where you're vulnerable, then right, you begin to work on those areas to either strengthen them or to protect yourself from, from people who may prey on you. Oftentimes, we will get to a place where we're like, you know what, y'all are playing me. Y'all are playing me. Y'all are playing me. And dare I say, I have learned to shift that, to realize that I allowed myself to be played. I allowed myself to be played. That does not minimize the hurt. That does not make the person better who played me. That does not absolve them from their wrongdoing. But what that does, it allows me to take back control and power of myself to say, you know what? Yeah, you played me, but I have to acknowledge that, you know what? I wasn't fortified. I left some, I left some gates open. I did not sit with myself long enough to see that, you know what, this is an issue, Angel, and you're not strong here yet. So you probably want to do these things to protect yourself while you work and strengthen these weaknesses. It is so important that we are willing to own our stuff and realize that you are responsible for you. When I was a younger girl, and even when I talk to young girls, when it comes to who they gonna lay down with, I would always say to my young girl mentees, like, your body is your responsibility. When you lay up with somebody and you allow him to talk you into not being protected, and you allow him to, whatever, then you are giving the authority, the power over your life, your future, to this being. You did that because you could have said no. Mind you, I'm not talking about extreme cases of grape. I'm not. Y'all already know I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about, age appropriate, consensual. Yeah. Right. I'm gonna go over here and let me see what y'all talking about over here. Tiana said, "Child." Yes, Tiana. We have talked about this before. Tiana T says, discomfort, running away from discomfort, the fear of the unknown. Let me tell you, the fear of the unknown will have you running scared all the time, honey. When you don't know it, that's why I tell people all the time, knowledge, understanding, and wisdom will protect you. When you know, when you understand what you know, and when you know how to apply what you understand, it will help you to stand in a place of being courageous and strong. God has not given us a spirit of fear, right? The word also tells us that it is the fear of the Lord that is the beginning of wisdom. When you understand who you serve, when you understand who you are in respect to who you serve, when you know who your enemy is, when you know these things, when you understand them and you know how to move, then it takes away a lot of the fear that you have. The unknown brings about fear. Tiana said, "Confessions of an ex self-proclaimed runaway love." I like that. That sound like a whole movie book story. Okay. Tamika says she had a moment to pop in. Hey sis, we almost done for the day. We're almost done for the day. So let me get back to my notes, y'all, so I can stay on track. So the first thing I want you all to do is to identify the root cause of why you're running, right? Ask yourself, what am I really running from? I want you to sit with that question for a moment. I want you to journal about the times that you felt the urge to run. I want you to look for the patterns, right? If you need to, I need you to seek some wise counsel. Get you a therapist, get you a coach, connect with someone who can help you unpack these things. All right. The second point I want to make is that you need to develop some emotional resilience. We live in a world where discomfort is something we don't like. It makes us want to just check out. Oh, I can't deal with this. Oh, I can't think about this. Let me tell y'all there's a term that really messes with me sometimes. This idea of what does it serve me, or this doesn't make me happy, or the truth is that just because something doesn't make you happy, it doesn't make you comfortable, doesn't mean you don't have to deal with it. You still got to deal with it. Growth happens in uncomfortable situations and circumstances. Growth takes place in uncomfortable places. Instead of running from your emotions, instead of running from the feelings, sit with them. I feel the feels, y'all. Feel it. Being angry is not a sin. Scripture says that we are not to sin, right? Because of our anger. Don't allow anger to lead you into sin, but it doesn't tell you not to be angry. Baby, if you got to be angry, be angry. If you frustrated, sit with the frustration. Don't let the frustration overtake you, but feel it. You feel it so that you can ask yourself, what is causing me to feel like this? Like, why am I so frustrated? What happened today in my day that's got me scatterbrained like this? Why did this particular thing cause me to get so frustrated? Because typically I can listen to things and then you may find that there are little nuanced things that are happening that you're not really focused on that's leading you to being frustrated when you listen to this person, or when you go into this place. Instead of running from the feelings and the emotions, I need you to go ahead and sit with them, right? Whew. Life ain't gonna get easier, people, but we can get stronger. We can become better equipped to take on the hard things that are gonna happen in this life, right? Building emotional resilience is important. We talk about what's top tier. being being emotionally resilient is top tier. It allows you to take your own power back. And then the third thing I want to share with you all, I got about 4 minutes remaining. I want you to commit to facing hard things. Make the commitment to facing the hard things, one hard thing at a time, right? Before you decide to run, you want to stop and you want to ask yourself, like, okay, what is a real practical step that I can take forward, right? To help me deal with this thing instead of running away from it. If I got to face a truth, if I have to face a situation, if I have to face a consequence for my action, whatever the thing is that you really really want to run away from, you want to escape. And just let me say this, running is not just, like I said, physically running or denying what's true, but those of you who like to, those of you who like self medicate, baby, that's running. Self medicating is running. When you can't, when you can't handle your feelings, when you can't deal with stress, you can't deal with frustration, you can't deal with overwhelm without sitting down with some trees, like, baby, that is a form of running. You can't deal with nothing unless you got a little, little something in your cup, baby, that's a form of running. That is a form of running. It is a form of quitting. It is a form of saying, you know what, I'm not going to deal. So you got to ask yourself, what is a small step that I can take to help me deal with this situation, face this circumstance, have this conversation with this person. What is something small that I can do that will help me to be able to deal instead of run? And whatever that is, I need you to do it, right? If your relationship is feeling off, I need you to have a hard conversation instead of walking away. I ain't got to deal with the ninja. Who he think he talking to? Don't he know I'm still that girl? Don't he know I don't got to deal with this? Let me put my freaking girl dress on and go on the show. No, that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing, sis. If your relationship is feeling off, have the hard conversation. I had a conversation with a growth. Absolute. Hey, imperfect options. That is growth. Instead, and listen, I know nowadays everybody telling y'all to leave y'all husbands and to go get divorced. And no, I'm telling you to have the hard conversation. If your job is feeling frustrated, right? Try to find some new ways to engage before you decide to quit. I don't know who they think I am. I ain't got to be doing this. I ain't got to be working. I could do something else. I can go find me another job anytime. Y'all know how we do. That's quitting. Oh, let me hurry up and get up out of here before I have to do. That's quitting. Yeah, that's running. Instead of you dealing, you finding a way to engage with those people so that you can have a healthier work environment. If you have a difficult time working with people at this job who frustrate you, baby, when you get to the next job and them people frustrate you, you're gonna leave that place too. Because everywhere you go to work, you're gonna be somebody that's gonna frustrate you. Everywhere you work, there are going to be people who don't agree with you, who don't do things right. You're going to have people come to work late. You're going to have people who don't do their job. You're going to have people who tell stories. I mean, my goodness, I've never been on a job where I have not met all these kind of people. At some point, you have to make a decision to figure out, right? What are the ways that I can engage with these people that will allow me to stand still, do my job, have some job satisfaction, and go home, right? If life just feels heavy, right? Take little bitty steps that'll help keep you from shutting down completely. I've been there too, sis. I know what it feels like to just lay in the bed and be like, you know what? I'm just not gonna get out this bed no more. That's running. That's not wanting to face. That's not wanting to deal. I've laid in the bed and just said, you know what? I used to think when I was younger, when people would say that, they say, oh, that lady, she lost her, like she had a nervous breakdown. Y'all remember when you were younger, hearing older people talk about people having a nervous breakdown? That's what they used to call it back in the day, having a nervous breakdown. I remember thinking, how does a person have a nervous breakdown? That don't even make sense to me, right? How do you have a nervous breakdown? Until I got to a place of being so overwhelmed and feeling like I did not have it out. And so you can run away by retreating inside. That is a form of running, retreating inside. And I remember lying in the bed when my little boys running around me, they were babies, they were little, they were toddlers at the time. And I remember just thinking, if I just don't get out of this bed, my husband, he'll feed the kids, he'll take care of them. If I just don't go to work, they'll get a sub and then they'll find a replacement. If I just, if I don't, if Kevin know how to cook, I don't have to cook. If I just lay in this bed and just don't get up no more, the world is just gonna keep going. And I mean, and I can get some peace. If I don't have to do anything, I could just lay here, right? Baby, that's how you start having a nervous breakdown. That is one way of entering into a nervous breakdown. You can literally retreat into yourself and tell your mind to shut off. You can do that. I'm not suggesting that you do it. I want you to know, I know what it feels like for life to get so heavy that you want to shut down. And what I'm saying to you is that you've got to grab a hold of little things that will help keep you moving forward so you can deal. I heard my little boys, and I always say that those twins saved my life at one point. They came running through the room. They had to be probably about 3 years old. They come running into my room I'm in the bed and I'm just like, I just don't know what to do. My husband's at work and they come jumping up on the bed. Mommy, we hungry. Mommy, we hungry. We hungry. Hungry, mommy, hungry. Food, food, juice, 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 mommy. And I heard this small voice say, get up and feed them. Get up and feed them. Now that listen, on one side, I'm telling myself, or the enemy is trying to convince me that if I just lay in the bed, then I'll get some peace and everything will be okay, and the world will just keep going, and it's not even that serious. And then I hear right this small voice that said, "Get up and feed them. Get up and feed your children." And for that day, hearing their little voices, looking at them, hearing this little voice remind me like they need to eat, the love that I have for my children, and knowing that like they need to eat, this just get up and feed them. That one little step of choosing to get out of the bed and just fix them some cereal or something, taking that one little step in that moment got me out of the bed. What I'm saying to you is when life feels heavy like that, take just a little step to get you out of that place. And here's the big one, y'all. This is a big one. This is a big one that's hard to do, especially when life is just wild and crazy. You got to find some accountability. You have to find some accountability. You got to surround yourself with people who challenge you to stay and to grow instead of enabling you to run. Find you some friends and they're gonna be like, girl, get rid of that ninja. You better than him. He ain't even worthy of you. Girl, you too cute for him anyway. We thought he was ugly the whole time. Like, don't get rid of them kind. Stay away from them kind and get you some accountability that's gonna say, sis, did you talk to him? Did you sit down? Did you tell him how you felt? Right? Are you expecting him to just know because he just should know? And I agree with you. He probably should just know. But instead of you just assuming that he should just know, did you actually sit down and talk to him? Did you sit down and did you sit to have the conversation to really get an understanding? Or are you just still mad and you just want to say something? Are you really going to take the time to try and understand why he did what he did? Because the truth is, people's feelings are valid, whether we think they're accurate or not. So if he did it, there's a reason he did it. Do you really want to know why? Or are you just mad because whatever? I'm just saying. I know it's hard. I had a conversation with a woman yesterday who's on the verge of, being, signing them papers. And I had to sit with her and I said, hold on. I said, you know me, I love you. We love, right? She's like, yeah, I'm listening. I said, okay. And so I said, I'm gonna tell you, I know what the world will say. And based on what he's done, I know the world would tell you to leave, go on and sign them papers or whatever. These people have been married for 30 years. They've been married for 30 years. I said, I know what the people would tell you. I know the world would tell you. I said, but I want to ask you, is he asking? Or who asked it? She really had to sit and think about it because she really couldn't really tell me who, like, she's like, she had to figure out who brought it up. I said, no, what I want to know, aside from everything, I want to know who brought the idea of, right? After we talked a little bit, I told her, listen, I said, one thing, because I know her and I know she's a strong believer. And I told her, listen, I'm just going to tell you straight up. There's no way you're going to tell me that after 30 years of no cheating, none of this, y'all had a good marriage, all of these things, and all of a sudden some stuff happened. And all of a sudden after 30 years, like, no. One thing I told her, you have to understand, God hates divorce and the enemy loves it. He hates our marriages. He hates family. And so then she begins to share, well, this thing happened, and then, his mama passing, and this and this, and so now she's starting to see some things, like there were some things going on that led to this place that maybe she hadn't seen, she hadn't really paid attention to, she hadn't focused. So having a person, a woman that she respects, that she listens to sit down and say, look, I'm not telling you to stay in something that is hurting you. If it's hurting you, then, whatever, do what you need to do. But that's not what I'm hearing. That's not what I'm hearing you say. That's not what I'm hearing that you're saying, that he's saying. It sounds like you need to do what you say you do, and that is to pray. You need to pray for your husband. You intercede for everybody else. You praying for everybody else. You stand in the gap for everybody else. Why you not praying for your husband? You say you won't be married. He ain't trying to leave. What we doing? Right? Sometimes you need accountability that is going to speak life into you and your situation versus having a bunch of people standing around you telling you to run. Telling you to run, telling you to leave your 30-year marriage, telling you to kick your 18-year-old out because they done graduated from high school, need to go somewhere. What are we talking about here? You listening to people telling you foolishness, telling you to just forget, just run. And you need to have some accountability, sis. You need to have some folks in your life. Find you some accountability. Surround yourself with the people who are going to challenge you to stay. They're going to challenge you to stick and stay. They're going to challenge you to grow, right? Running might feel like freedom, but I'm telling you, real freedom comes when you stop avoiding and you start facing. That's when you get to true freedom. Remember, scripture says the truth makes you free. I believe it is the truth that you know, the truth that you're willing to acknowledge. Understand that truth is a prerequisite to freedom. Truth is a prerequisite to freedom. You cannot have true freedom if you are not willing to stand in the truth, not run from it, but stand in it. Right? The peace that you're looking for. Let me get close to you. The peace that you're looking for, you're not going to find it in a new job. You're not going to find it in a new outfit. You're not going to find it in a new man. You're not going to find it in a new apartment or a new house. The peace that you're looking for, listen, you're not going to find a new relationship. You understand? The peace that you're looking for, it is in you. It is in you. And you cannot run away from you, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you want to. So I challenge you all today to start running. Okay. And with that, I apologize. I know I am 25 minutes over 12 o'clock, but we had some technical issues today. We had some stuff. It is what it is. But we got it in. All right. I love y'all. TT, y'all been rocking with me today. Thank you for stopping through. Thank you for the gifts and all the things. FB and YT and LinkedIn, thank y'all so much for joining me today. I know I'm sitting in this kitchen, y'all. Let me see how much time I spent on here today. Oh gosh, I got 6 more minutes over here. But I know I'm sitting in this kitchen today because my fur baby is just acting up. So I'm getting ready to go and let him do what he needs to do. And again, if you need a little bit of encouragement, you need a little inspiration, you need a little bit of accountability. If you feel like this is a good, healthy space for you, I welcome you to join me here at 11 a.m. ish. Sometimes it's 11, sometimes 11:05, but 11 a.m. ish Eastern Standard Time. I will be right here sharing with you all. Okay. Nia, how you doing? Nia J. Hatemaker. You have a fabulous day today. Harold Bed's Thought says yes, and it's generational clutter cycles. Ooh, girl, that sounds like a whole live right there. That sounds like a whole talk. Generational clutter cycles. Oh my goodness. All right. That's right. No more running. We are no longer running. No running. So y'all take care. Have a beautiful rest of your Tuesday. I will see you all back here at 11 a.m. ish tomorrow on Wednesday. And don't forget, the nominations are open for the Speak Up Sis Awards. It's our third annual Speak Up Sis Awards. I know you know some phenomenal women who are trailblazers, who are women in business, who are authors and podcasters, women with warm smiles and good hearts, women who are givers, right? Everyday women who are making impact. I know you know some of them. So our nomination process is open for the third annual Speak Up Sis Awards. And I invite you to go nominate a woman. You can visit speakupsismagazine.com, go to the menu, click Speak Up Sis Awards, and all of the information will be there. And yeah, I hope to see some of your names show up on our nominee list this year. Y'all take care.